Welcome back to World History Explore. What drives a nation to scatter across the world, yet hold its heart firmly rooted at home? For Albania, migration is not just a chapter in its history, it's the pulse of its identity. From the desperate exodus of 1991 to the steady flow of talent and resilience into the 21st century, the story of the Albanian diaspora is one of survival, hope, and unbreakable connections. In this video, we'll uncover how waves of migration shaped not only the lives of millions who left, but also the very foundation of the homeland they never forgot. How do remittances, culture, and politics bridge the miles between Albania and its diaspora? And what toll does this migration take on a nation longing for stability? So, get ready to explore the untold story of Albania's global family, a story that refuses to fade no matter the distance. Chaos and collapse. Think about this. Over 1.4 million Albanians now live abroad, primarily in countries like Italy, Greece, and the United States. These communities don't just thrive in their adopted homelands, they continue to uplift Albania itself. How? Through remittances. These financial lifelines account for a whopping 9% of Albania's GDP. Families use these funds for essentials like education, healthcare, and even small businesses. Without this influx, many households would face dire circumstances. The diaspora isn't just living abroad, it's investing in Albania's future. But it's not all about money. The diaspora is fiercely protective of its roots. Through community organizations, they preserve the Albanian language, music, and traditions. Even thousands of miles away, Albanians stay connected to their heritage. Some make frequent trips back home, while others bridge the gap virtually. This commitment ensures that Albania's culture thrives far beyond its borders. Isn't it remarkable how a nation can keep its heart intact no matter where its people are? In recent years, the diaspora has flexed its political muscles too. Their collective voice can shape decisions in Albania, whether through influencing policies or participating in development projects. This engagement is more than symbolic. They aren't just spectators, they're active players in Albania's story. Migration isn't new to Albanians. During the Ottoman Empire's decline, many sought refuge and opportunity in southern Europe. From the 15th to the 20th centuries, significant Albanian communities established themselves in Greece, Italy, Turkey, and even the US. Under communist rule, emigration was tightly controlled. Only a few managed to escape, seeking freedom and better opportunities abroad. Then came the watershed moment, the fall of communism in 1991. Albania plunged into political chaos and economic despair. High unemployment and poverty forced many to leave. 1991 alone saw tens of thousands risk everything, boarding makeshift boats to Italy or crossing borders into Greece. The mid-1990s brought another wave of migration, fueled by the devastating pyramid scheme crisis of 1997, which wiped out the savings of countless families. This wasn't just a financial collapse, it was a moment that reshaped Albania's demographic landscape forever. These migration waves have done more than scatter Albanians across the globe. They've built a bridge between Albania and its diaspora, a connection that drives economic growth, cultural preservation, and political influence. The diaspora has become Albania's extended family, constantly nurturing and shaping its homeland. The story of the Albanian diaspora isn't over. It's a living, evolving narrative of hope and tenacity, proving that even in the face of hardship, a nation can transcend its borders to thrive. Between 1990 and 2020, Albania faced relentless waves of migration that changed the country's history. These migrations weren't just about individuals leaving. They represented the collective struggle of a nation grappling with political upheaval, economic despair, and regional conflict. In 1991, Albania was at a crossroads. The communist regime had just collapsed, leaving a trail of economic hardship and political uncertainty. Within days, over 24,000 Albanians crossed the Adriatic Sea to Italy, a scene that looked like desperation embodied. Makeshift boats and illegal crossings became the norm, as people yearned for freedom and opportunities beyond the iron grip of their past. Young men from rural areas were the vanguard of this migration, fleeing a homeland that offered them no future. By the end of 1992, a staggering 600,000 Albanians, nearly one-fifth of the population, had emigrated. Italy and Greece became sanctuaries, but the mass exodus was just the beginning. Families longed to reunite, and the seeds of further migrations were already being sown. 1997 plunged Albania into chaos. Economic collapse hit the nation like a hammer when pyramid schemes imploded, wiping out life savings and dreams. The result? Financial ruin for thousands. Civil unrest followed, and lawlessness gripped the streets. Fear was the new currency, and people couldn't escape fast enough. Greece and Italy once again became the lifelines. This wave mirrored the desperation of the first, with irregular migration channels dominating the exodus. Albanians weren't just seeking economic stability, they were fleeing violence and anarchy. The migration story became one of survival, as the streets they left behind turned into battlegrounds. When the Kosovo crisis erupted in 1999, it brought the horrors of war to Albania's doorstep. Ethnic Albanians fleeing violence in Kosovo poured into the country. Albania became both a sanctuary and a stepping stone for those looking to escape the region entirely. Refugees soon turned into migrants, seeking asylum in Western Europe. For Albanians, this crisis introduced new pathways to migration, creating a shift in patterns. Stability was a distant dream, but the promise of a better life abroad kept hope alive. Even after these dramatic waves, migration didn't slow down, it evolved. Economic hardships persisted, with high unemployment rates and limited opportunities pushing many to leave. For some, it wasn't just about work. It was about securing a future for their children. Education became a driving factor, with families seeking better schools and prospects abroad. Italy and Greece remained the go-to destinations, but the map expanded. North America and Western Europe began to lure migrants, as stricter immigration laws reshaped the narrative. Albanians adapted, but the underlying story stayed the same, a relentless quest for a better tomorrow. Albania's waves of migration were tectonic shifts in the nation's identity. Each departure left behind a story of struggle and resilience. The country's demographics were reshaped, its economy transformed, and its collective psyche forever altered. Even as Albanians found new homes, the impact of these waves rippled through generations, defining what it means to belong and to hope. A tale of hope and hardship. Mass emigration from Albania tells a story of hope and hardship intertwined, a tale of individuals chasing better lives abroad while their homeland grapples with the void they leave behind. This exodus has reshaped Albania's economic and social fabric, creating challenges that echo across every corner of the nation. Albania's economy has been deeply impacted by the departure of its skilled professionals, a phenomenon often referred to as brain drain. Doctors, engineers, and IT specialists, some of the brightest minds, have packed their bags for Western Europe or North America. This exodus has left Albania's critical sectors, such as healthcare and education, struggling to stay afloat. How does a nation thrive when its talent is siphoned away? The labor market has its own conundrum. While some industries enjoy reduced competition, others face a stark reality. Positions remain vacant, especially in specialized professions. Imagine hospitals without enough doctors, or schools short on qualified teachers. The imbalance creates pockets of wage increases, but stifles overall productivity, holding the economy back. Yet there's a bittersweet lifeline: remittances. Families back home rely heavily on the money sent by loved ones abroad. These remittances account for a significant 9% of Albania's GDP, keeping many afloat. But there's a hidden cost. Families become reliant on this external support, often neglecting opportunities to invest locally or seek employment. This dependency feeds a cycle of stagnation that is tough to break. Despite this financial infusion, poverty and unemployment continue to loom large. High poverty rates and youth unemployment, estimated at 32.5% in recent years, paint a grim picture. For many, the only escape from this cycle is to follow the path of emigration, leaving behind a nation yearning for solutions. Economics aside, the human toll of mass emigration is undeniable. Families are torn apart, with loved ones often separated by thousands of miles. For children growing up without one or both parents, the absence leaves scars, emotional instability, and as fragmentation acutely. Traditional structures weaken as fewer people actively engage in local governance or communal life. What happens when a community loses its sense of togetherness? The cracks show in rising crime rates and social unrest, as individuals search for belonging in a society that feels increasingly hollow. The ripple effects don't end there. Women in Albania are stepping into new roles as men leave for work abroad. They become the heads of households, juggling work and family responsibilities. While this shift empowers many women, it also brings immense pressure as they bear the weight of dual roles alone. And then there's the cultural disconnect. Younger generations born or raised abroad often embrace different values and norms, distancing themselves from their Albanian heritage. What happens to a nation's cultural identity when its future generations grow up detached from their roots? Mass immigration has undeniably brought financial relief to many Albanian families, but the challenges it leaves in its wake, brain drain, social disintegration, emotional strain, are immense. Albania stands at a crossroads. The nation must find ways to retain its talent, strengthen its communities, and nurture opportunities that encourage its people to stay. Only then can it balance the bittersweet legacy of migration and carve out a brighter future for those who call Albania home. Now, before we move forward, hit that subscribe button and like this video so you can stay in the loop. The power of remittances. Remittances are not just numbers. They're lifelines for countless Albanian households. At their peak in 2004, they contributed a staggering 13.5% of the GDP. Even in recent years, with slight declines, they still account for about 9%, underscoring their critical role in Albania's economy. But what happens when this lifeline starts to waver? The global financial crisis of 2008 hit Albania hard. Remittances, which had been steadily rising for years, dropped by 6% in just 1 year. Many Albanian workers abroad faced job cuts, shrinking the financial flow home. Despite this, remittances remained a pillar for household stability, covering essentials like food, education, and healthcare. While remittances uplift many families, they also expose the divide within the Albanian society. Households receiving money from abroad often enjoy better living standards, investing in education and small businesses. In contrast, families without such support struggle to keep up, creating a dual economy where opportunities are starkly uneven. And let's not forget the role remittances play in reducing poverty. For some households, they're the difference between survival and disap slows down. Albania's workforce has been drained by emigration, creating gaps that cannot be ignored. Young professionals, especially in critical sectors like healthcare and engineering, are leaving in droves. This brain drain inflates wages for those who remain, yet stifles overall growth due to a lack of skilled workers. At the same time, lower skilled laborers often face oversupply issues, leading to wage suppression. These imbalances ripple through Albania's economy, creating stark contrasts across sectors and regions. And as young talent departs, the country's aging population faces a future without sufficient replacements, threatening long-term stability. The story of Albania's economy is as much about opportunity as it is about challenge. Remittances have kept many families afloat and injected vital cash into local economies. Yet the country's reliance on its diaspora has also created vulnerabilities. To secure a brighter future, Albania must tackle the root causes of emigration by creating local opportunities that match the ambitions of its people. Communities like a heart. Albanian culture thrives not just within its borders, but across the globe, a theme that refuses to dim. These cultural ties act as a bridge, connecting the hearts of Albanians living abroad to the homeland they still hold dear. Through community efforts, shared identities, and the embrace of their heritage, Albanians in the diaspora ensure their roots remain unshaken. But how do they manage to keep the past alive while embracing the future? The diaspora's strength lies in its communities. These aren't just gatherings, but living, breathing hubs of Albanian culture. Festivals celebrating traditional music, dance, and food turn ordinary days into vivid memories of the homeland. Imagine walking into a bustling Albanian cultural festival, traditional costumes, rhythmic dances, and the aroma of baklava. It's not just nostalgia, it's preservation. For the children of the diaspora, language classes are lifelines to their heritage. Parents enroll their kids not out of duty, but pride. Teaching them Albanian isn't just about words, it's about identity, about ensuring they understand their family's journey and place in history. And then there are the holidays. Every November 28th on Independence Day, the Albanian flag waves high, even in the streets of far-off cities. These gatherings are more than celebrations. They're declarations. We are Albanian no matter where we are. Media plays the role of a storyteller, weaving tales of Albania for ears that might have never set foot there. From Albanian language newspapers to modern-day social media, the diaspora stays informed and connected. A grandmother in New York watches Albanian TV while a teenager in London shares stories of their heritage on Instagram. Technology isn't diluting the culture, it's amplifying it. Living abroad often means balancing two worlds. Albanians in the diaspora don't discard the culture of their host countries, but blend it with their own. They adapt local customs while fiercely holding on to core values like family, faith, and community. Parents take on the role of cultural guardians. Around dinner tables, they tell stories of villages left behind, of heroes and traditions. Children, in turn, become bridges, fluent in the language of their peers, yet deeply aware of their roots. Visits back to Albania, where kids immerse themselves in their parents' hometowns, often leave a lasting mark. These trips are more than vacations, they're cultural awakenings. Of course, emigration isn't without its challenges. Families separated by borders feel the sting of absence. Villages in Albania feel the void of young people leaving for better opportunities. Yet the diaspora's unity and contributions, economic, cultural, and emotional, offer hope. Remittances help families survive, and cultural efforts keep heritage alive. As time marches forward, the Albanian diaspora's efforts to stay connected offer lessons in resilience. Technology has opened doors for even greater collaboration, cultural exchanges, economic initiatives, and shared projects that benefit both Albania and its global citizens. Albanian culture, carried across seas and borders, remains unbroken. The diaspora doesn't just preserve it, they evolve it, ensuring it thrives for generations to come. With every festival, story, and tradition passed down, they echo a simple truth. No matter where they go, their roots remain firmly planted in Albanian soil. The Albanian diaspora is more than a tale of migration. It's about resilience, culture, and unity across borders. From shaping economies to preserving traditions, their impact echoes far beyond Albania's borders. So what do you think? Can a nation truly thrive when so much of its heartbeat resides abroad? If you enjoyed this dive into the Albanian diaspora, hit that like button, subscribe for more stories that connect history with the present, and ring the bell for updates on our latest uploads. Let us know in the comments, how does the diaspora influence your view of Albania today? See you in the next video of World History Explored.